So, just can you go over a little bit of like when you're exploring your ideas, how your process goes along? Do you just kind of hit on an idea from something else you're looking at, or?
It varies. For the Bondi Bunnies, for example, I normally start with a bit of brainstorming. So I think like most artists, we like to draw and paint what subject matters that we like. So if we like dogs, we'll paint dogs, you know. So I love vintage, anything vintage. So I really wanted to have something vintage in the works for the Bondi Bunnies. And I wasn't at the beginning of the process. I didn't have a clear picture of my mind. Oh, I'm going to have this vintage, you know, building or something in the works. But as you brainstorm, you start to write down ideas like, oh, yeah, vintage, and then I might write something like the animals I like because I want to incorporate animals into it, and various other subject matters that I like to explore. And then from that you might narrow it down and think, oh well, I can't have vintage, this and all these other subject matters, so then I might pick my 3 favourites. How can I combine those 3 ideas in to make images? So that's sort of how Bondi Bunnies came out, because I wanted to have vintage, I wanted to have bunnies, and I thought of Sydney landscapes, and then I thought Bondi Bunnies. It sounds good, it's catchy, and I can get everything in there that I want to express. So it really depends on the project I'm working on and how I get the ideas. Sometimes the ideas come in the middle of the night, so I always have a notepad next to my bed, because often I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I think, oh wow, that's a great idea, and I jot that down, so in the morning I think, oh yeah, that's a good one I can work on. So ideas come, I think, just from stimulation, from looking at other images on the web, talking to people about various topics that are hot in the community. There's lots of sources of inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah.